People might ask any given question.
There's so many questions. There's so many interactions, and so the more that it can like recombine abstract things it's learned, the better it will do.
And again, just to go back to the concept that you talked about before, this is all in service of, you know, it needs to have that ultimate goal of generating the next word, and all these weird structures have developed to support that goal, even though we didn't explicitly program those in or tell it to do this. This is the thing. All of this comes about through the process of the model learning how to do stuff on its own.
I think one clear example of this that I think is an example of sort of like reusing representations is we teach Claude to not just answer in English, but, you know, it can answer in French, it can answer in sort of like a variety of languages. And if you know, again, there's two ways to do this, right? If I ask you, you know, a question in French and a question in English, you could like sort of like have a separate part of your brain that sort of like processes English and a separate part that processes the French. At some point that gets super expensive if you want to answer many questions in many languages. And so another thing that we find is that some of these representations are shared across languages. And so if you ask the same question in two different languages, and let's say, you know, you ask what's the opposite of big is I think the example we used in our paper, and it's sort of like the concept of big is shared in French and English and, you know, Japanese and all these other languages. And that kind of makes sense. Again, if you're trying to speak 10 different languages, you shouldn't learn 10 versions of each specific word you might use.